What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here recapping Miami Heat's Game 1 victory against the Detroit Pistons in a 103-102 narrow victory, which ended up being a 19-point comeback for the Detroit Pistons, which came up short by 1 point. The Heat, I thought they played well throughout most of the game, but in that fourth quarter, they just let the Pistons just close that game. And in Heat fashion, we blew a lead, and it was a very, very tense game for Heat fans in that last couple minutes, especially when they were making that comeback. So we have a lot to talk about. So again, just buckle up, enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, comment down below, go check out the Discord, and leave any comments about the game. I know we had a lot of people frustrated because the Pistons came back, but at the end of the day, a win is a win. A win is a win. We started off 1-0. That's all that matters. There are some stuff we got to talk about, man, because I'm enjoying the win. Again, the Pistons are one of the worst teams in the NBA, so it's not anything to be proud of. But it's a win, and we usually don't win the opening night game. We always lose, whether it's against Orlando or Detroit or anybody. Like, we always usually drop that opening night game. I'm happy we came out starting off the right way, especially because the next few games are going to be a lot tougher than last night. Just to talk about some of these games, man. Some of these possessions, man. You got to give, let me just shout out a couple players on the Pistons because I've been huge fans of what they're doing. The three players that I had highlighted in the pregame report / preview, which I posted like a couple days ago, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and Asar Thompson. All three of them hooped. Shout out to Cade. He looked like the real deal. He's going to be a stud in this league. Jalen Duren is a man amongst boys, especially when Bam is not on him. 17 and 14. And then Asar Thompson, man, he's a freak defensively. He's going to be, him and his brother just have that crazy length and wingspan and athleticism and timing where they can just disrupt so many players defensively. And he had, I think, 5 or 6 blocks in this game. So, shout out to those three real quick. The Pistons played well. They competed, especially late. But the Heat, you got to shout out a couple of players. I feel like Bam was the best player on the floor last night on the Heat, because I know Cade Cunningham probably was the best player on the floor, but Bam was the best player on the Heat, 100%, 22, 8, and 3. I thought he really, really played well. He struggled in the first quarter, but after the first quarter, I thought he really, really stepped up and, played well, scored the ball. I thought his defense was good, especially late when he was switched on to Cade, and I thought he played well. Now, what I emphasized in the pregame, like keys to the game, I don't know why I keep saying pregame. The preview keys to the game was number one was the bench scoring, and I was like, can we outscore their bench? And we did. Then we outscored their bench by 5 or 6, and Duncan Robinson, I thought, was probably my MVP of the game, because I know he didn't have the most points, but his impact was crazy. And in 22 minutes, he had 15, 2, and 1, and it wasn't just threes. Like, he was cutting to the rim. I thought his defense was not bad, and he was just scoring in a lot of ways. And I feel like he's gonna have a good year, man. I think he's gonna have like a bounce back season, and he's gonna carry his form over from the playoffs to this season. And he's already started doing that. Like, he's knocking down his threes, but he's also cutting to the rim. And I feel like his cuts and slips to the rim are gonna be it's gonna be a new wrinkle in the Heat's offense. It's gonna be a very new wrinkle in the Heat's offense, and we're gonna thrive off that, because a lot of people will want to help on guys like Tyler and Jimmy and Bam, and he can just cut right to the rim. Something I thought he should have been doing more. Like, he's always been a good cutter, and he's always been a good passer as well. Like, he's a very good decision maker. Duncan Robinson is a very smart basketball player. And the only reason he was not in the rotation for some time was because his shot was not falling. But he's a very high IQ player. I've always preferred him, especially even when we had Strus, I've always preferred Robinson because of that. Strus had a great game for Cleveland, by the way, but I felt that Strus was more of a shot checker, and Duncan had more of a versatile approach to his game, where he could cut to the rim and finish and pass and put the ball on the floor a little bit. And his shot, I thought, was, when he's on, man, he's one of the best shooters in the world. He's top 5 in my opinion. So you gotta give big props to Duncan, because I thought he was somebody who came off the bench and came with so much. Thomas Bryant and Jaime Jaquez as well, man. Thomas Bryant looks like a breath of fresh air, especially because over the past couple years we've had backup bigs that haven't really been what we wanted, and especially whenever Bam was off the floor, people used to be holding their breath, because it's can we sustain the minutes without Bam? And we actually outscored the Pistons when Bam and Jimmy weren't on the floor in the first quarter. When we made our big run to take a big lead into the half, Bam and Jimmy weren't on the floor, and we outscored the Pistons. And that's something that never happened. So a lot of positive things to take from that, especially the bench. I think the second unit was, you can give the whole second unit like MVP of the game because they came out to play. The second unit looked really good. They looked better than the starting lineups for times yesterday. I thought Jaquez looked good. Jaquez is a stud. He's ready right now. Like that's the biggest point that I have to take away from this game is that he's NBA ready. And a lot of guys will come to the league as projects and they need a couple years to kind of like figure it out and get adjusted. But this is a dude who's a veteran, one of the best players in history at UCLA. He's played there for 4 years. He knows how to play, man. He knows how to play, and he's adjusted to speed and pace. I know it's different from college and the NBA, but one of the advantages of drafting 4-year guys is that, number one, they know their role, so they don't know how to do too much. They know what they're good at, and they stick to that, and they can help the team in any way. And number two is that there's not that much of an adjustment for them, and you could see that he was clearly like there was no adjustment. Like he was just go from minute one. Defensively, he was all over the place, and then offensively, his footwork, his shot fakes, his patience, his poise. He's probably the most patient rookie in this class, to be honest. Like when I'm looking at everybody, like he's gonna be a really good player. He's gonna be a very key piece for the Heat this season. The backup rotation looked like Drew Smith, Duncan, Caleb, Jaquez, and Thomas Bryant. I'm assuming like at some point you're gonna see Haywood Highsmith slotting in, Josh Richardson slotting in, probably in place of Jaime and Drew, and then you're gonna have Duncan, Caleb, and Thomas Bryant. But Jaime's gonna get minutes too. Jaime's definitely gonna get minutes, 100%. Hero struggled a little bit shooting the ball. I think a lot of people did overreact though. I did see a lot of people were like, "Yo, like we should have traded him." But if anyone's saying that, bro, y'all gotta just stop watching basketball because, first of all, most of his shots were in and out. Most of his shots were in and out, and it was like they were halfway down, bro. Like, it happens. You miss shots. Like, it happens to Duncan. It happens to Hero. It happens to Jimmy. Like, his shot wasn't falling. That's fine. But I feel like his off-ball defense was good. I feel like his patience and playmaking was good. Like, I just thought he struggled because his shot wasn't falling, and that's fine. Like, his shot will fall eventually. His looks that were in and out will go down whenever, and we'll be okay. He'll be fine. Jimmy, I thought, played okay. Didn't really score the ball too much, but had 13 rebounds. Big night from Jimmy on the boards. Felt like he played really well. And Kevin Love. Listen, Kevin Love defensively is a concern to me, but I feel like offensively he had a good night. He hit his threes. He sealed in the paint. He cut. He got a layup at the end to extend the lead, I think, in the fourth quarter. He, like I said, hit his shots, and he was good offensively, and he was good on the glass. He had 10 rebounds, but defensively, you're going to see a concern. The one issue that I see with this team, and you guys are going to find out, I've not mentioned a player. I'm not sure why he's starting for this team. I know it's only game one, but bro, if this player wants to change my opinion of him, which I know he doesn't care, like, unless you're watching this video, Kyle, like, bro, if he wants my opinion of him to change, he has to ball, bro. 0 points for Kyle Lowry in 32 minutes. My man was out there doing cardio the whole game. Literally was just running around. Like, what did he do? Defensively, he was getting picked on. And you can be a gritty defender all you want, bro. If you're like 6 feet or less in the NBA, like, I'm sorry, like, you can try all you want and you can be as gritty of a defender, but especially at Kyle's age, he's a liability defensively right now. He is. Off-ball defense, you're always gonna see the timely steals and this and that. Like, he's gonna come up with like some steals and poking the ball, stripping the ball from somebody. He has good hands, I'll give him that. But on the ball, Cade Cunningham was literally like, bro, it was like a violation, like putting Kyle on Cade. Like, I don't even know why we tried that, because Cade had 30 on his head. Kyle had 0. So that's just defensively. Offensively, he doesn't want to shoot. We're paying you $30 million a year to just go out there and just run around. When he's open, he wants to pass. When he's not open, he wants to shoot. but he never even shot last night. That's the thing that makes me mad, bro. Because teams can just help on Jimmy, throw two at him, bring Kyle's defender on Jimmy, or bring Kyle's defender on Bam, and then it'll be a late closeout to Kyle, and he won't want to shoot. He can just sidestep, take a three, get a defender in the air. No, he just wants to swing it every time. Pass it. I get it, he's a point guard, but bro, he has to bring something to this team. Defensively, he's a zero. Offensively, he's a zero. What does he do? What does Kyle Lowry do on this team? If anyone thinks I'm overreacting, please let me know down in the comment section below, bro. I really hope that somebody will come up with a case to prove me wrong about this, because I just want to see, like, I want this team to play well. I want Lowry to play well because he's on the Heat. Did I want him to stay on this team after the summer? No, I didn't. I vocally expressed that. I was like, bro, I don't want this guy on this team. But he's on the team. What can we do? We got to support him, right? So as long as Kyle Lowry's on this team, I want him to play well. So if somebody can tell me what he's doing on the floor that's impacting winning, apart from timely steals and timely assists, which we did not pay a dude $30 million for a once in a blue moon steal and a once in a blue moon assist. Like, that's not how it works, dog. Like, he doesn't provide anything defensively. Apart from his off-ball defense when guys are driving. Yeah, he takes charges, cool. But there's also a new flopping rule in the NBA. Half of his charges were probably flops. Offensively, if he's not shooting the ball, he can get to the rim. There's absolutely zero dribble penetration, zero rim pressure from Kyle Lowry. And listen, man, again, he just looks lost, bro. Okay, not lost because he's a veteran, but he just looks out of place. Like, he shouldn't start. There's no way, whether he's on this team or not, there's no way you're starting him. There's no way. When Josh Richardson is back, I want Jay Rich to start, bro. I really, really do. I do not want Kyle Lowry starting on this team. I don't. Like, absolutely not. I could never. On a championship contender, if your starting point guard is Kyle Lowry, you're not winning a championship, bro. I'm sorry. And the problem with starting Lowry and Love on this team at the same time is the half-court offense is stinky. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Because there's zero, apart from Jimmy Butler and occasionally Bam Adebayo, nobody on this team can get to the rim. Nobody can get to the rim. It's all screens, handoffs, some action here, some action there, backdoor cuts. The best way for this team to score is in transition. That's why you saw in the fourth quarter when the Pistons tightened their turnovers and everything up. Bro, this team struggled. We were at 103 points for like the last 3 minutes. We didn't score. Because in the half court, with that starting lineup, whether they start or not, they should definitely not be closing. But they shouldn't be starting either. Whether they start or not, like, closing is no-go for Kyle Lowry and maybe Kevin Love. But definitely Kyle Lowry should not be closing games on this team. Because a lineup of Lowry, Hero, Jimmy, Love, and Bam is terrible in the half court. Hero, I think people are banking on Hero to be the savior, to be that guy who just drives to the rim and is a three-level scorer. Hero's not there yet with his finishing, man. He's not. You can see it. He's not there with his finishing. He's getting there. He can get there in a couple years, but he's not. You can see he's a shoot first guy. He likes to take jumpers. He's not a guy who gets to the rim. Jimmy does that. He's one of the best in the league at that. But in the regular season, you're not going to rely on Jimmy to do that. Bam is a center, and yeah, he can get to the rim, but him and Jimmy might be the only two. And again, Bam is a center, and Jimmy likes to do it in the playoffs. In the regular season, he likes to do other things besides score. So somebody has to get to the rim on this team. Josh Richardson will get to the rim. Kyle Lowry will not. Start Jay Rich when he's back. Bring Kyle Lowry off the bench. His best performance in a Heat uniform was when he was off the bench. He was terrible as a starter every single game, apart from maybe a couple. Like, I can probably count on my fingers the amount of good games Kyle Lowry's had starting on this team in his career, not just like this year or last year. Like, in his Heat career, in the past 2 seasons plus 1 game, which was last night, I can probably count on my hand like 5 times at max, like on one hand, the amount of good games he's had starting on this team. I think he should be traded at the deadline, but whether he's traded or not, he's on this team right now, so I got to get behind him. I think the best role for him is off the bench, bro. I do not want to see this guy starting a game. Now, I know Spo's not going to change it because Spo likes to stick with what he has and he wants to stick with what he thinks is the best lineup. Lowry wants to start, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Spo, you cannot be blind, bro. Like, you're the best coach in the NBA. Like, we're seeing it, bro. This guy's providing absolutely nothing on the court as a starter. Just bring him off the bench. Obviously, he couldn't last night because we didn't have Josh Richardson. But when Josh Richardson is back, just bring Lowry off the bench, bro. Yeah, man. That's my rant on Kyle Lowry. I think he was the one player that kind of just ticked me off last night. I thought everybody else was fine. But we're paying this dude $30 million to play 32 minutes and put up 0 points. If you're a starting point guard in the NBA and put up 0 points in the game, something is wrong. You got to score somehow, dog. My biggest expectation for Kyle Lowry was for him to hit his shots. He's not even shooting shots, bro, let alone hitting them. At least if you were shooting shots and missing, I would be like, okay, at least he's taking his threes that he's given. And it's just an off night. Bro, he's not even taking threes, bro. He's not even taking any shots, bro. And he can't get to the rim. He's slow. He's undersized. He doesn't have a handle. How's he going to get to the rim? And then don't even get me started on him defensively. But yeah, that's enough. I'm not gonna keep going on Kyle Lowry. I think you guys got my point. That's the recap though, man. I'm sorry to end it on a negative note, but I just had to save Kyle Lowry till the end because I just wanted to praise everybody first and then kind of give my Kyle Lowry spiel. Yeah, we are back. I think on Friday against Boston. I think that might be on national television. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be a good game. Boston played well against the Knicks. It was a good game. I watched that game for the first couple minutes because I think the Heat started 30 minutes after, but it's on ESPN. It's in Boston. Classic game. We got to win that. I'm going to put a preview out there for it tonight. And yeah, we'll see y'all later as always, man. Have a nice day. Peace.